I wanted to use some of this time to kind of preview some of the new decks coming out of our friend Savage Strike and kind of use some of the information that we have and kind of build off of it. So I've been messing around with Subterrors. This is kind of my first actual draft to kind of see what's going on with the deck, kind of test some things, kind of see where the OCG was going with some of their mentalities, along with the TCG as well. So do keep in mind, I've based this off of a lot of things I've seen. I'm not too sold on Heatwave, I'm going to be honest with you. This could potentially be any other card. It's good, but it's not, great per se. So let's dig on into this. So one major thing that you need to understand about Subterrors is you win through hand traps, and that is essentially your entire deck's concept. You're going to start building advantage, you're going to disrupt your opponent, not allow your opponent to build a board, and you do that through the key selection of things you have available to you. So of course we're packing triple Ash Blossom. This is going to be mandatory in the TCG. The fact that we have this maximized, you can make an argument for a 2-2-2 split across all of your hand traps, and I can understand that. But for the most part, I am currently sticking to 3 just to maximize results. Now, 2 copies of Ghost Bell, getting a negation on something possibly messing around with the graveyard is kind of important. You don't want to make sure that your opponent doesn't outclass you. You can argue for one of this in the deck, but I want to because I want to draw it if I need it in the matchup, amongst other things. Now, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. I'm also indifferent about Ogre. I think Ogre is better than the Ghost Bell, but you're a disruption deck. You want to make sure that whatever you are doing doesn't really get interrupted by your opponent per se, and having the additional hand traps, I mean obviously Ash and Fiendus are going to be your go-tos for everything that is probably going to be happening in the game, which is, it's fine. It goes to just show like the power of Ogre depending on the situation you kind of find yourself in, whether or not you need to adapt or choose other hand traps and things like that. But I do think that this is probably going to be the best ratio. No, I'm extremely techie, and I do like the 1 copy of the Umastrix. I've seen a lot of the OCG playing this, and I fucking love this card. So flip, you can target 1 monster opponent controls, banish it. You can only use this effect of Umastrix once per turn. And when a face-up monster you control slip face down, and if you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense mode. And then, you can change this card to face down. I like the fact that we have a spot removal monster built into the deck already, and it's a 1-up, so you're not really conflicting with the ideals of the deck. Now, this is where everything goes right. This is Fiendus. So during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send this face-up card from your field or hand to the graveyard, then target 1 Subterror you control, negate the activation, and then change the targeted monster to face down defense mode. You can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to face down defense position, and if you do, special summon 1 Subterror from your hand or graveyard in face-up or face-down defense mode. This card literally does so fucking much. It's insane. But yes, we get free negated activations, and we get to reset friends. That's literally all we care about. Like, I can't believe that a card like this actually exists in this deck for purposes like this. Now, for those of you that know, Guru is on the horizon. He is the card that makes the world go round for this deck. So let's flip and add 1 Subterror card from your deck to your hand, except for Guru. You can target 1 other face-up monster on the field, change it in this card to face-down defense mode. This effect can be activated during either player's turn. And if you control another Subterror card, you can only use each effect of Guru once per turn. So if you just leave this guy face-up on the field, and you don't want to burn a Fiendus or something, your opponent summons a monster, you can go ahead and just go, oh, Guru, flip down, smile. You've objectively done what you needed to do. This is the card that holds this deck together, and it does it beautifully. Now, of course, we have 2 copies of Nemesis Archer. So at the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's face-down defense mode monster, and you control another Subterror card, you can shuffle the opponent's monster into the deck. Okay? If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Subterra from your deck in face up or face down defense mode. Now, a lot of people are indifferent. I've heard people say that they like 3 of this. I think the card is good, don't get me wrong, but I like riding the line of somewhere about 2. 1 is okay, but I think you kind of run into conflicting issues if you're running such a low number of these. So 2 seems to be about where I want to be. Now, of course, triple copies of Duality. You're a deck that doesn't really special summon. I mean, you do, but you don't. Does that make sense? You kind of just, you pick your battles and things like that with how your turns are going. But yes, you absolutely no reason not to be abusing the living shit out of Duality. Now, Subterrors do need this card. This is the card that also kind of pushed them on the map, and it's kind of ironic that we get Guru and Extravagance all in the same place. So at the start of your main phase 1, banish 3 or 6 face-down cards from your extra deck randomly, face down, and then draw 1 card for each 3 banished this way. And then after this card resolves for this turn, you cannot draw cards by card effects. The only thing we care about here is that this literally fuels our need to be a tier 1 deck. We don't give a shit about our extra deck. I mean, we do, but we don't. It's just kind of a resource that we have access to at this point. And that's the thing I was talking about here. We do play 2 copies of Scapegoat. I'm kind of indifferent about this. I like the concept behind it because it does give us access to boss monsters. Boss monsters do let you win the game faster, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So 2 copies of Scapegoats just give us access to our extra deck depending on the matchup, if we draw it, things like that. You know, it's the little things that matter. Now, I'm playing 1 Cave Clash, and I kind of want to play 2. So all Subterra monsters you control will gain 500 attack and defense for each set monster on the field. And then once per turn, when a Subterra monster you control inflicts damage to your opponent, target 1 Subterra card in your graveyard, except for Cave Clash, add it back to your hand. You know that Fiendus that you just discarded this turn? Go ahead and just pick that shit right back up. I think that the longer that the game goes, the more that you start grinding with Guru, this card will literally start helping you get back the grind tools that you've lost. Now, of course, we're playing 2 copies of Terraforming. Getting to the field spell is the best part. Now, on activation of Hidden City, you get to recur for a Subterra. Then once per turn, you change your face-down defense mode position, Subterra monster you control to face-up attack position or defense mode. And then once per turn, when opponent's monster declares an attack, you can change 1 face-down Subterra monster you control to face-up attack position or defense position, and then you can negate the attack. This is the definition of watch your opponent cry. Now, we are a Floodgate deck, so we do have to bring, you know, Gozens, Impermanences, Stormings, and of course 2 of Ye Olde Final Battle. The fact that this card does 4 fucking different things, the fact that you get to change a set monster to face up, or change a face up to face down, or attack and defense of 1 Subterra monster on the field become equal to its combined original attack and defense till the end of the turn. I love making Guru 3400 for fucking no real reason. Or, you know, you can make sure that your Subterra cards cannot be negated. So much going on here. I love it. Now, the extra deck is kind of built around the concept of this, and I'm borrowing some ideas from one of our young duelists on Ye Olde Facebook. I saw a couple things. Yeah, I was looking. The original list I had was from Guru God. I was using some ideas from him for the extra deck. So we have 1 Triple Burst, we have 1 Trisbania, 1 Ye Olde Bomber Dragon, 1 copy of Ningirsu, 2 copies of Mrs. Radiant, triple Link Kuriboh, 1 Spider, 1 copy of Nightmare, 2 copies of Phoenix, 1 Boral Sword, and 1 Borreload Dragon. Now the side deck here, definitely loving this. So we have triple copies of Pringatops, triple copies of Phantasme. Like, the power that you get with this card to draw, it is fucking crazy. And you can reset your hand, get more hand traps, like, definition of broken. Of course, triple Heatwave. This is just kind of spicy for the deck. This card can be activated at the start of main phase 1. Neither player can normal summon or special summon effect monsters until your next draw phase. So it's both good and bad, but just kind of something to consider. Of course, we have triple copies of Twin Twisters and triple copies of Evenly Match. Past turn 1, Evenly's probably not going to get you a lot of value, but if you're against a matchup like Altergeist or Sky Strikers, this card will just blow your opponent the fuck out of the water, and that's kind of what you're aiming for. I mean, you can start to play around it. Evenly does hurt this deck. I would give some consideration to Lancia for the side, but it's kind of up in the air for things like that. So, this is the first preview of things to come with Subterror. Guys, I'll probably be updating this list. I'm looking forward to actually playing this deck myself. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. And well, guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.